The producers and distributors of Tech AV technical instructional video programs welcome you to this module in the series Electrical Cables. The program describes the procedures which will enable you successfully to terminate a paper-lead steel tape armored medium voltage cable using a pre-stretched tube silicon termination, commonly known as a cold shrink P.S.T. termination. Cable preparation begins with the moisture test in order to check the belt and core paper insulation for moisture. Heat a small jug filled with resin oil to a temperature of between 120 and 150 degrees centigrade. Check the temperature of the oil with a thermometer. Alternatively, you may use the match test. Immerse the tip of the match into the oil. If the temperature of the oil is correct, the oil around the head of the match will froth and small bubbles will appear on the surface of the oil. Strip 150 millimeters of the cable to the belt papers. Remove a sample of the outer belt paper, but do not touch the end to be tested with your fingers, as they may introduce moisture into the sample. Immerse the sample in the resin oil compound for half a minute. Hold the sample just below the surface of the oil. During this time, check for frothing or bubbles on the surface of the oil, which is a sure sign that there is moisture in the sample. Repeat the moisture test for the belt papers nearest the cores. The fillers and worming between the cores, and finally the paper insulation surrounding the core. Completing the test when the conductors are exposed. If the results do reveal moisture, repeat the test on a sample taken 1 meter further along the cable. Report the matter to your supervisor if moisture is again detected. If the results are negative, continue with the next step in the jointing process. We continue with the next step, which involves stripping. The cable is first stripped to the lead sheath using dimensions taken from the jointing instruction manual. To remove the jute serving, mark 2 points at a given distance from the end of the cable. Place a wire binder at the first mark and another binder approximately 75 millimeters beyond the first. The binder consists of 2 turns of strong copper wire. Make a ring cut against the first binder by cutting through the jute serving with a cobbler's knife. Then peel off the first layer of jute from the cable armoring. Repeat the procedure to remove the remaining jute serving. Using a hacksaw fitted with a sharp blade, make a ring cut into the cable armoring against the first binder. Cut through the outer layer of the armor, and then with the aid of pliers, remove the armor by unwinding it from the cable. Ring cut the inner armor, but don't cut all the way through. This will prevent any damage occurring to the inner sheath. Use a pair of pliers to assist in breaking the armor loose at the ring cut. Then remove the armor completely by unwinding it against the cable. Here we see that the armouring has been correctly removed, with no damage to the bedding or lead sheath. Next, remove the first binder. Then make a ring cut against the second binder by cutting through the jute serving with a cobbler's knife. Make a longitudinal cut through the jute, then peel off the jute layers to reveal the armouring. Remove the jute string bedding by unwinding it against the cable. Then cut off the strings against the end of the prepared armours. Always work in a direction away from your body and the sheath. This will protect your fingers as well as the lead sheath. Liberally apply paraffin to the bitumen impregnated paper bedding. Then gently heat the paper to soften the bitumen. Carefully unwind the paper. Then tear it off against the edge of the armours. Next, liberally baste the lead sheath with waste soaked in paraffin and remove all remaining traces of bitumen from the lead sheath and armours. Apply a few layers of clean cotton tape to the lead sheath at the armours. Carefully push the tape between the sheath and the armours. This will prevent the migration of compound during plumbing operations. Apply a 75 mm wide half-lapped layer of clean cotton tape to the sheath, commencing at the armours. This will protect the lead sheath during the cleaning and tinning of the armours, which we will demonstrate after the break.